One of the things that people really don't realize is that something that I teach in my class here at USC, and that the motion picture has only 3 parts. And it's difficult for them to believe that till I tell them that it has a story, which is paramount to everything that is shown, and the picture and the sound. So actually, sound is as important as picture. And that's the one thing that I try to stress to my students and future filmmakers. Because without the soundtrack, you have nothing. With the soundtrack, and if the picture goes blank up on the screen for some reason or other, audience can still carry the story or understand the story. So sound itself is what we try to tell everyone is actually very important. They don't know that openly, but they do feel it subconsciously. That if you turn the sound off, you are not going to be able to understand the film. And a lot of the excitement comes from the musical score, which we deem as one of the 5 elements of sound. And it's a very important element because it creates the emotion and the drama. So what I'm working in is, the field that I'm working in is actually very important to the business. And we've been very, very successful in it in some of the films that I've worked on. And I can just say at this point that without the sound in a motion picture, and without what I'm doing in a motion picture is teaching people how to use sound, that probably it would not progress in the future, and also would not be as strong storytelling element.
Can you tell us the best 5 components of sound? Which 5?
Well, actually, the five elements of sound is something that I teach in my curriculum. The most important, not the most important because they're of equal importance, is that the first one is dialogue. The spoken word, or a voiceover, or a narration that explains what's happening on the screen. The second one is sound effects. It's actually the sound that you hear appearing on the screen, and I like to explain it as what you see is what you hear. Because that actually explains and actually amplifies what's happening on the screen. Now, what is not happening on the screen is also very important, and that comes with your sound effects in the way of what we call off-camera or off-stage. The other things that are important are ambience and backgrounds, because they actually establish the location and the mood of the scene, whether it's an angry, happy, or serene mood, and the background is that we shoot a lot of stuff on sound stages. We could just put a soundtrack out there of Chinatown on the outside and just feed it in, and boom, you think you're right in Chinatown. Or you can put in seagulls, and you can put in the ocean, and boom, you're right there by the ocean. And the other is music, which is very important, and it's a separate subject unto itself, but we know how music can affect us emotionally and also the drama. And another one would be silence, when nothing is happening, and it allows the mind of the audience watching the film to think within their, and create sounds within their own imagination. And it causes contrast between loud sounds and quiet sounds. So sounds, when you break it down into those categories, are actually very important and very effective, and it's actually 1/3 of the film that you're looking at.